You've been walking down the street, maybe carrying your groceries, and you suddenly realize your legs just don't feel as strong as they used to. Not just tired, but weaker. Almost like they're giving up on you. It's easy to brush it off. After all, you're over 60. And everyone says that's just part of getting older, right? But here's the thing. Sometimes, that weakness is your body's quiet way of telling you there's trouble brewing. Trouble that could put your feet, and even your mobility, at serious risk. Imagine one day looking down and realizing that a simple walk in the park is no longer possible, not because of age, but because something inside you has been slowly cutting off your body's lifeline to your legs. In this video, we're going to open a window into what might really be behind that creeping weakness. We'll talk about hidden causes most people never think about, how to recognize the early whispers before they turn into shouts, and simple steps you can take starting today to protect your feet for years to come. If you're curious to know whether your legs are trying to warn you, drop a 1 in the comments. If you're feeling confident they're just fine, type 0. And of course, make sure you hit subscribe to Health 365 because the next few minutes could change how you think about your legs forever. Now, let's get into what's really going on beneath the surface. When your legs start to feel weaker, it's easy to shrug it off and think, it's just age catching up with me. But leg weakness can trigger a chain of events that puts your feet in serious danger, often in ways you won't notice until the damage is advanced. One of the most common hidden culprits is poor circulation, known medically as peripheral artery disease. PAD. Think of your arteries as busy highways delivering oxygen and nutrients to every cell. With PAD, these highways get narrowed or even blocked by fatty plaque buildup. When the arteries that feed your legs and feet are affected, blood flow slows to a trickle. Without enough oxygen-rich blood, the tissues in your feet begin to starve. Early signs can be subtle. Cold feet, even when the rest of your body feels warm, pale or bluish toes, or a cramping, squeezing pain in your calves after a short walk. That pain isn't simply old age. It's your muscles begging for oxygen. This is where things can escalate quickly. Imagine getting a tiny blister from a slightly tight shoe. For someone with healthy circulation, it heals within days. But with PAD, your body's repair crew, oxygen, nutrients, immune cells, can't reach the wound fast enough. The sore lingers, infection sets in, and if it spreads deep enough, the skin and tissue begin to die. That's gangrene, and in many cases, the only way to stop it is amputation. Another hidden threat is peripheral neuropathy, or nerve damage. It's common in people with diabetes, vitamin B12 deficiency, or heavy alcohol use. Damaged nerves fail to send accurate signals, meaning you may lose the ability to feel pain, heat, or pressure. You could step on a sharp object or develop a blister without realizing it. Keep walking on it for days, and by the time you notice, the injury has worsened dramatically. Muscle weakness adds another layer of risk. Your calf muscles do more than help you walk. They act as natural pumps, pushing blood back toward your heart. If these muscles weaken from inactivity, illness, or injury, the pump slows down. Blood pools in the lower legs, swelling increases, and the skin becomes fragile. This sets the stage for pressure ulcers on the heels or toes, another gateway for infection. Let me share Robert's story. Robert, a 72-year-old retired mechanic, loved his morning walks. One month he noticed his legs felt sluggish, but he ignored it, assuming he was just tired. Weeks later, while gardening, he felt a sharp sting in his foot. By that evening, the pain was gone, not because the injury healed, but because his nerves had gone numb. His wife spotted a deep cut on his big toe. At the clinic, tests revealed severe parietal and nerve damage. The cut was already infected. Robert spent weeks in the hospital and narrowly avoided losing his foot. Later, he admitted, "If I'd gone to the doctor when my legs first started feeling weak, I might have avoided all of this." The truth is, weak legs aren't just a strength problem. They can signal that your circulation, nerves, and muscles are all under stress. When these three systems start failing together, the danger to your feet becomes immediate and severe. Pay attention to those early changes: cold feet, unusual pain, slower walking speed. Catching the problem early can mean the difference between preserving your mobility and facing life-changing surgery. Now that we've explored how leg weakness can spiral into something as severe as foot necrosis, it's time to look at the root causes. Because the earlier you understand them, the more power you have to stop the damage before it starts. When we talk about why legs grow weaker and feet become more vulnerable, the answer is rarely a single cause. In most cases, it's a chain of interconnected factors: health conditions, daily habits, nutrition, and even footwear choices that gradually wear down your strength over the years. The tricky part is, these factors often work together silently, magnifying the damage without you noticing until the signs are obvious. Let's begin with underlying health conditions, because they often set the foundation for trouble. Diabetes is one of the most common culprits. Persistently, high blood sugar slowly damages both the blood vessels and the nerves. This double blow means your feet not only receive less oxygen-rich blood, but also lose sensation. Without that feeling, you may not notice injuries, pressure spots, or infections early on. That's why people with diabetes have a much higher risk of slow-healing wounds. Peripheral artery disease, PID, is another stealthy threat. It narrows and hardens the arteries, cutting off circulation to the lower limbs. Kidney disease can trigger fluid retention and swelling, which strain the skin and tissues, making them fragile. Heart disease affects the pumping power of the heart, reducing the force and efficiency of blood flow to your legs and feet. Nutrition plays a much larger role than many people realize. Deficiencies may develop slowly, but their impact on muscle, bone, and nerve health is profound. A lack of vitamin D weakens muscles and reduces bone density, increasing the risk of falls and fractures. Too little vitamin B12 damages nerves, leading to numbness or tingling. Low vitamin C and zinc impair your body's ability to repair tissues, slowing wound healing. These deficiencies often go unnoticed until weakness, loss of balance, or stubborn sores appear. Lifestyle choices can quietly push the situation from risky to dangerous. Smoking constricts and damages blood vessels, starving your tissues of oxygen. Excessive alcohol use harms nerves, disrupts blood sugar balance, and depletes vital nutrients. Long periods of sitting or inactivity allow blood to pool in your legs, causing swelling and lowering oxygen delivery to your muscles and skin. Foot care is another piece of the puzzle that people tend to overlook. Shoes that are too tight, too loose, or poorly cushioned can create pressure points, blisters, and small wounds. If you aren't inspecting your feet daily, those tiny problems can escalate, especially if you have nerve damage and can't feel them developing. Let me share a real-life example. Carol, a 67-year-old retired teacher, had been living with type 2 diabetes for more than a decade. She didn't smoke or drink, but she led a sedentary lifestyle and wore the same snug slippers around the house every day. One winter, she noticed a small red spot on her heel. She assumed it was nothing serious and ignored it. Over the next 2 weeks, the spot became an open sore that wouldn't heal. When she finally saw her doctor, tests revealed poor circulation and a significant vitamin B12 deficiency. That tiny spot was the start of a pressure ulcer. With proper treatment and months of care, she recovered, but she later admitted, If I had checked my feet daily and worn better shoes, I could have avoided so much trouble. When you combine these risk factors, chronic health issues, nutrient gaps, harmful habits, and lack of daily foot care, they form the perfect storm for serious leg and foot problems, even leading to severe complications like infections or necrosis. But here's the hopeful truth. Once you identify your risks, you can take action to reduce them. Simple, consistent changes, like a short daily walk, balanced nutrition, quitting smoking, and wearing supportive shoes, can greatly improve circulation, preserve muscle strength, and protect your feet. And that's why the next step is so critical. Learning to recognize the earliest warning signs. Acting early can mean the difference between a small, manageable issue and a life-changing complication. The tricky thing about serious foot problems is that they rarely start with anything dramatic. Most of the time, the first signs are so quiet, they blend into your everyday aches and pains. But these subtle changes can be your body's way of whispering, "Something isn't right." If you notice them early, you stand a much better chance of stopping the damage before it changes your life. One of the first red flags is a kind of leg weakness that feels different from normal tiredness. Maybe you used to walk around the block without thinking, but now your legs feel wobbly halfway through. Or you climb a few steps and suddenly need to hold the railing because your knees feel unsteady. This isn't just about muscles losing strength. It can be your circulation or nerves struggling to keep up. Temperature changes are another early warning. Have you ever noticed one foot feeling cold even when you're wrapped in a blanket? That uneven temperature can mean blood isn't flowing evenly to both legs. Along with that, watch for changes in skin color. If your toes look pale, bluish, or even darkened in spots, it's a sign oxygen isn't getting to the tissues the way it should. Sometimes the skin even becomes shiny or thin. And if you ever see a patch turning black, treat it as an emergency. That could mean the tissue is already dying. Slow healing wounds are another clue you should never ignore. A simple blister from new shoes or a scrape from bumping the coffee table should heal in a matter of days. If it lingers for weeks, swells, reddens, or begins leaking fluid, your body's repair system could be failing. Worse, infections thrive in wounds that refuse to close. They have more time to grow, spread, and invade deeper layers of tissue. Loss of sensation is another silent danger. If you can't feel the difference between warm and cool water, or if you don't notice stepping on something sharp, nerve damage may be to blame. Without pain as a warning, you might keep using that injured foot, making things worse without realizing it. Let me share a story. Jim, a retired firefighter I met during a health seminar, noticed his right foot always felt colder than his left. He brushed it off, thinking it was just the old ankle injury from years ago. A few months later, his wife pointed out a small sore on his big toe. Jim couldn't feel it, so he didn't think much of it. By the time he saw a doctor, the sore had turned into an infection, and circulation tests showed severe pain. Luckily, he caught it just in time to save his toe, but the doctor told him another couple of weeks might have meant surgery. Swelling that doesn't fade overnight is also a red flag. When blood or fluid pools in your lower legs, it stretches the skin and makes it more fragile. That opens the door to pressure sores and infections. The bottom line? Your body often whispers before it shouts. Weakness, temperature changes, color shifts, wounds that heal slowly, numbness, or unexplained swelling. Each of these is a message worth taking seriously. Checking your feet daily, even if they feel fine, can help you catch problems in their earliest, most treatable stage. Early action could save you months of pain, thousands in medical bills, and perhaps, most importantly, your mobility. Now that you know what to watch for, The next step is even more important. Taking action today to protect your legs and feet for the long haul. Prevention doesn't have to be complicated, but it does have to start before the damage is done. When it comes to protecting your legs and feet, the good news is that you have more control than you might think. Even if you already have some circulation or nerve issues, there are practical steps you can take starting today to slow down damage and even improve your condition over time. It's not about making huge, overwhelming changes. It's about building simple habits that stack up to real protection. First, focus on improving blood flow. Movement is the best medicine for your circulation. You don't need to run marathons. Just a 20-30 minute walk at a comfortable pace can make a big difference. If walking is tough, try light chair exercises or moving your ankles in circles while watching TV. Elevating your legs for short periods during the day helps blood return to your heart, and gentle foot massages can keep circulation active. The goal is to avoid sitting still for too long, because that's when blood pools in your lower legs. Next, give your body the nutrition it needs to heal and stay strong. Include foods rich in omega-3s, like salmon or walnuts, to help keep your blood vessels healthy. Leafy greens like spinach or kale pack vitamin K and antioxidants, while citrus fruits and berries give you vitamin C to speed healing. If your doctor says you're low on vitamin D or B12, consider supplements. These are critical for muscle and nerve health. And don't forget zinc, found in foods like pumpkin seeds and beans, to support tissue repair. Breaking harmful habits is just as important. If you smoke, quitting is the single most powerful thing you can do for your circulation. Smoking literally narrows your blood vessels, choking off the oxygen your legs and feet need. Cutting back on alcohol helps protect your nerves and keeps your vitamin levels from dropping. Even small changes, like swapping one drink for a glass of water, add up over time. Daily foot care is your frontline defense. Check your feet every morning or evening, using a mirror to see the bottoms if needed. Look for any cuts, blisters, redness, or swelling. Wash your feet in warm, not hot water. Dry them well, and keep the skin moisturized to prevent cracks. Wear shoes that fit comfortably. Tight shoes can rub and create wounds before you even notice. And if you see any changes in skin color, swelling, or sores, get them checked by a doctor right away. Let me tell you about Linda, a 68-year-old gardener who used to spend hours on her feet. She developed a small blister from her garden shoes, but didn't check her feet for a week. By the time she noticed, it had become infected. After her doctor treated it, she started doing daily foot checks, switched to wider shoes, and added short walks into her routine. 6 months later, her circulation tests improved, and she hasn't had a single sore since. Her secret? I just made it part of my morning coffee time. I check my feet before I even finish my cup. The truth is, preventing foot problems isn't about perfection. It's about paying attention and acting early. Every small step you take to improve blood flow, eat better, drop harmful habits, and protect your feet is an investment in keeping your mobility and independence for years to come. Now that we've covered prevention and improvement, let's bring it all together with one final message. Because sometimes the right words at the right time can be the push you need to start today. Getting older doesn't mean losing your strength or accepting that your legs will simply get weaker. What we've talked about today is a reminder that your body often gives you small clues before big problems arrive. Weakness, color changes, slow healing wounds. These aren't just random signs of aging. They're your body's way of saying, "Take care of me now, so I can carry you later." You have the power to protect your legs and feet. Every walk you take, every healthy meal you choose, every moment you spend. Checking your feet is an investment in your independence, and it's never too late to start, because